let's get started. I don't have a cool scene setting thing to begin with, so I'm just going to try and recap. You can see the image here. For those on Twitch, the party has traveled beneath the dome in Zambora to head to a new land and a civilization that is essentially lost to time and history. A race called the Tyldari that is highly advanced and has a very tentative working relationship with the city of Zambora. Hey, Victoria, yay! Upon arriving, let's share out some of these pictures. There were 3 different Tyldari that showed themselves to greet the party. And they haven't introduced names yet, although you'll probably see them on here. One flying up above around Emersina's altitude. Nope, we don't know them yet. Or them. This one that popped out of the forest, I think. And I went past the other one. And then, oh wow, this image is huge. Let me resize that. And then this one that was off in the beside the forest there, with the bear and everything else in the background peeking through the forest. Yes, yes.
Traveling zoo.
Oh, it's so great. Eagle, that's so fantastic. Of course, I'll say here. Try and get everyone in on the screen. And that is effectively where we left off, as these 3 have arrived to greet you. Let's see, who went through with you here? Was it Scarlet Shuffletrot? Yeah. Was it her that was guiding to... I think so. I think she was going to be your contact person.
I don't have another name written down, nor do I remember
Demetrius?
another name.
I had a name Demetrius written down. I don't know if that was it.
Oh, I think Demetrius is a wizard you were asking about.
Oh, yeah. No, that's
or
another
someone
name.
was
You're
asking
right.
about.
You're right.
Blueberry. Mm-hmm.
Yes, that was that.
All right. Let's see.
Oh, no, Roger didn't go with us.
No.
No, it wasn't Roger.
It was either her or Delorna, but I think Delorna stayed behind to investigate that other stuff. So, okay. So
Dang it.
Scarlet, we'll say Scarlet is here. I can't think of anyone else that would.
It might have been Scarlet. Yeah, it might have been Scarlet.
She did come with us.
No. Okay.
I said she did come with us.
Oh, she did. Okay, good.
Yeah. I'm 90% sure.
Oh, thanks. All right, and so she steps forward and just, not in a bashful way, in her more mature years here, but hi, it's me, and we're here to. On behalf of Zambora, we sent word to Nide about the meeting. She's still sort of, even though she's been here a few times, she's still taken in by the wonder of it all, because that's sort of Scarlet Shuffletrot. If that's okay. And who's going to step forward? Falca steps out of the woods from which you emerged. She just comes from the thick of it instead of the path that you emerged from. Well, very well. And she sort of pauses for a moment. Again, you were all given information that it's in this culture, naming yourself isn't something that's done until there's a certain sense of familiarity, or unless someone else has offered theirs up first. Let's head to Iverness then. She looks up and nods to Thalka, to Helsa, the flying one, and over to the ranger one with all the animals. And they sort of disappear. One, Helsa disappears into the sky, and the ranger one, just kind of starts running really fast ahead of everyone with animals flying and scattering in different directions. And you have a nice long journey through this really picturesque area here. Let me clear the rest of this out so once again you can see this where you arrived. You actually turn in the opposite direction, away from that little city that little town that you see in this image. You turn back, almost heading reverse out of your monitor towards yourselves in this direction. And all you see ahead of you is more rural landscape here. More large trees, smaller mountain ranges, and a path that seems to peter out into what looks like a dead end. A number of tall pines, very thickly woven together here, just make the path end abruptly. However, Thalka continues to walk forward, and as she does so, she disappears. Some air waves a little bit and wobbles as she passes through an unseen bubble of some sort. Does everyone... Scarlet continues through as well. Does anyone want to do anything, or is everyone heading through?
Morris, is that safe?
You can do an intelligence check if you want, Mort.
Yeah, let's do that.
Caitlin's going to stay kind of back until everyone else is through and then go through, just to kind of make sure everything's safe.
All right, intelligence. Oh, it checked. Sorry. 11 plus 5, 16.
You're not sure. I mean, you have an idea that it's something with Arcana, but can't put your finger on it.
Oh, well, we've come this far. I'll take a step.
Okay, boom. You walk through, and there's almost a small silky feeling that brushes across your person as you pass through. As you step through the other side, and as everyone does, assuming, please let me know if anyone does not want to step through.
Well, there doesn't seem to be any screaming from the other side, and Gallifrey steps through.
Nice. All right. I'm going to bring up an image here, which... Okay. You head through and see before you the Tyldari city of Iverness. Sorry, it's another ridiculously huge image. I'm just going to resize it here. All right. There we go. The space before you warbles, and into sight comes this beautiful, beautiful landscape. Seems to be highly advanced. The architecture is very foreign. There are trees of all different types here. You can see certain areas are floating above others. Water cascades off the edges of platforms and collects below. There's a multi-tiered system to the city here, some built upon other person-made structures, others built upon stone of small hills and mountains. It looks well, it looks sort of like a utopia if you're looking for a nice, peaceful place to live. Animals, an eagle flies by and perches on a tree. You see people walking around back and forth amongst the city.
Easy.
Okay. So they continue to bring you through. Just images. And they lead you up to, you can see in the very center of this image, way in the back, there's a long curved arc of structure there with buildings on it, leading up to a very tall building in the very, very back there. And they lead you all the way through the city. The air is fresh and clean here. It has that fresh mountain air scent. People seem generally happy. There's a lot of creative art in this city, between the architecture and the clothing and the dressings to the city. People really this seems to be prized here in the city. Let's see, no one appears to be too ostentatious, too wealthy or too poor, too overdone with their clothes or anything like that. It seems to be citizens seem to be fairly equal, and everyone seems to be in pretty good health. You make your way back to that tower in the back, and rushing down from the main doorway down the pathway in which you're walking up, an individual runs down, and I have an image for that. All the images tonight. All right. Is this individual. She's running at such a pace that she hops a little bit and does short bursts of flight as she leaps with each step using her wings. Oh, Scarlet, yes. Hello. I'm so sorry I'm late. Please, oh, that's quite enough. Yes. And she kind of tells Helsa, to excuse him. Oh, that's quite all right, Helsa. Thank you. Well, I must meet your friends. Oh my. She's kind of looking over at Mort, Blueberry, and taken in by Emersina as well. And Aaronwyn with the dragon scales, and let's see, even Kaelin, because they haven't, their contact's been so super limited. They've effectively only dealt with half-elves, elves, and humans so far. It just happens to be the people that they've encountered so far. Oh, and she's like Ariel. She's just so excited by all the new stuff. Like, yes. Oh, hello. She leans down to Kaelin. Reaches a hand out. This is, yes?
Yeah, I will. Kaelin will shake the hand.
Okay.
And, yeah.
You're quite strong.
Sorry.
No, it's fascinating. Oh, my. Pleasure. And she kind of goes over and goes to reach out for Mort's mustache. Hello. Pleasure to meet you as well. Yes.
Right.
And it looks up to let's see, Galthor, you're an elf, right? Half. I like. And she kind of points at the white streak in your hair. Oh. That's fascinating. Good day. I'm glad welcome you all, of course, to Iverness. Oh, and this is a puppy with a hat. Well, there's time for questions later. Yes, of course. I don't know. Do you think Blueberry would say something? I'll wait a little bit just in case Beth shows up. And looks.
She said that she wasn't going to be here this week. She said that last week.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
All right, thanks.
That's why she wore her Halloween costume last week. Sorry.
Oh, thank you. Whoopsies. So we'll say Blueberry says something like, "Well, why, thank you." Oh. So many questions. Yes. Just kind of, looks at Aaron for a minute. That's very interesting. Beautiful, this scales. Yes. And she kind of pauses at Emeracina. Hello. Have we met before?
Oh. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Well, welcome all. She's just like super curious about M. Please enter, and we will see what hear your request and see what we can do. I do understand that. Well, let's go inside. Yes. And she turns around and walks a little more slowly now, sort of side by side with Scarlet ahead of the group into that giant building. Inside, again, it's everything is. I mean, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Had to throw that out there in case Victoria's still in chat. It's a Sunday night campaign thing.
Oh man.
But everything is so artistic here. There's so much creativity invested in everything. You walk in and each room sort of flows into another design and another form. As you walk through large, there's a lot of openness to the rooms. You notice open floor plan, and you head through one room after the other. You go up a couple flights of stairs, and as you reach the third floor, there is a small, compared to everything else here, a small meeting room. It doesn't have one large table, but rather a number of tables scattered about, each with a few chairs at them, and arranged not quite in a circle, but loosely, in a way that everyone can sit down and sort of face one another, and there's room for someone to speak in the middle, stand and speak. Please sit down. Won't you all make yourselves at home? Yes, this is what you say. He looks to Scarlet.
Kaylin will sit down.
Oh. So, I greet you formally as the liaison to Zanbar. My name is Nide. And she kind of looks at each of you expectantly.
My
Pleased
name
to meet
is
you.
Kaylin.
Oh, a pleasure.
I'm called Galathor.
A pleasure.
Mortimer?
Wonderful. There's Blueberry, Emil, and Aaron Wen.
Anar, go.
Oh, with pleasure. I formally greet you and am ready to hear your requests on behalf of the Tyldari. And Scarlet kind of goes into the request to have permission to access, or she talks more about the Gynosphinx and the information that you need from it, and asks for permission to pursue that. Oh, well, that is that is quite a request. Well, are you sure this is something you all wish to pursue? You're determined.
Yes.
Well, we are fine to guide you to the outskirts. We ourselves do not enter that place. It is a place that... and she looks for a moment because you can tell she's very, very reticent to give out any, lore information about their history of their people. It holds a place in our history. We can guide you to the outskirts and show you from there. But it's also a rather dangerous place. I just wish to warn you, as friends of Scarlet, I would advise against pursuing it unless you're willing to lose all reason and sense of yourself. It's a rather scary place. Just fortify your mind and steel your nerve. Yes. But if you wish...
Kaylin's trying really hard not to ask for information.
But, yes, if you must, we will, of course, allow this. You can get the same sense from her, like she has so many questions, but she's a little bit of a black sheep here. She kind of looks around. Well, as a friend of Scarlett's, would you mind, I'm just so very curious. I would love to know more about each of you. Nothing too forward, of course. And you, of course, could ask me some questions if you like.
I'm in.
Oh, lovely. So, if I'm to understand this correctly, Kaylin, you are a dwarf?
That's correct.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And there's so many of you. That's so many differences here, and it was my understanding that different races and species, the other side of Australia, have difficulty managing to live together, but you find yourselves banded together here, traveling as a company.
Oh, yeah, for the most part, we get along together quite nicely.
Marvelous. I do. Oh, Scarlet. Do you have a?
What the hell?
Nice. we keep a dinosaur downstairs. I'm so sorry.
What was that?
And do you have a question for me, perhaps?
So I hope. Do you mind if I ask about what you mentioned earlier about the space outside that you're taking that we're going into?
Yes, I suppose it's pertinent. What would you know?
You mentioned guarding our mind. That concerns me.
Yes. Well, you see, the place you're looking to go is called Rivenlost. And you see her like puzzling over exactly what she's gonna say that would be pertinent. I can tell you that there are dangers there that are not only from creatures, but from the very atmosphere. They challenge the mind. They may make you see things that are not there, but they will feel real. They may make you see enemies where there are none. Friends where there are enemies.
Sounds great.
Yes. It is a dangerous place for those that cannot steal their minds and their nerve.
Well, I appreciate the warning. Thank you
Of course.
for giving that information.
Yes. And Galathor, it was, right? Yes.
That's right. Correct.
This symbol you carry on your chest, what does it represent?
This is the symbol of my god Helm. He is the protector deity.
Oh. Interesting, yes. And do you serve only the one deity?
I do, yes. I know no other way.
Oh, wonderful. And does this deity support you in your endeavors?
Helm supports me in protecting others.
That is wonderful to hear. I must say this is a little different than what my research has shown. So I will have to update my notes. This is very helpful. I do appreciate you. I know it's very forward of me, so I do very much appreciate you sharing information. And Galathor, do you have a question for me? Anything I can answer for you in return?
No, that's quite all right. I'm just ready to get this over with.
I can understand, yes. Well, Mort, yes?
Yes.
You are one intriguing gentleman.
Well, thank you.
This is very interesting. The hair that grows on your face is fashioned in such a unique way.
Well, it's a style, I must admit, I've adopted, and it's not easy to maintain, but it's worth the effort, I would think.
Definitely. Keep it up, yes.
Well, thank you. Just a quick question.
Of course.
Other than avoidance from the area, is there any precautions that your people themselves take? Is it forbidden for anyone to enter there from your?
It's like an old wound that hurts as though it were fresh. And not only are we forbidden to go, but none of us would wish it so. She's trying to carefully choose her words.
I understand,
Yes.
but I appreciate anything you offer.
and she kind of, talks to Emil and Blueberry, and then looks over to Aaron. And I am simply at a loss. I've met elves and half-elves, and now I can say that I've met a dwarf, and I'm so sorry, Mort. I am at a loss. Perhaps a gnome of some sort?
Oh, me?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no.
Mort was in the middle of drinking. Yes.
Nice. I'm so sorry,
Provided
Mort.
privilege. I am a subspecies of the gnome, known as a deep gnome. We live mostly underground.
Fascinating. And do you build entire cities?
Entire cities, communities. We mostly keep to ourselves.
I see. Interesting. And how do you have exceptional vision in the dark, or do you have ways to light? Oh.
We have adapted quite a dark vision.
Oh, I see. Of course, yes. Of course. That is magnificent. And Evan, yes, I am at a loss as to, may I inquire, as to your species?
I'm a half dragon.
Incredible. Truly. Is this direct parentage, or is this more of heritage?
One of my parents is a bronze dragon. The other one is a human.
Oh.
I don't know which one.
Oh, that is a wonderful mystery, yes. Are you pursuing, I'm sorry.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter to me, honestly. I love them both, and they both love me, and they both support me and everything, and
wonderful.
I miss them, but
Yes.
that's what happens when you don't go home for a while.
You all journey far from home then? You don't all live in Zambora?
No.
No.
I'm not even from the same continent.
Mm-mm.
Wow. So, you travel across the seas then? Well, that must be magnificent.
We did. We took it. Did we take a
Twice.
shortcut?
We
took a shortcut this time, didn't we? Kind of.
Yes, we were. Yes, we were.
Right.
Yeah.
I see. And Edwin, do you have a question from me in return?
How do you know of any other rune children? Another rune child around? She does have one of her runes glowing.
Okay. Oh. You see her, so make a persuasion check. This is sort of the societal thing where it's like tit for tat, but giving information is sort of a no-no, and so she's weighing out whether or not she should say anything. Persuasion, if you would.
25.
Oh, okay.
Right, this is the right character sheet. Yes.
Nice. All I can say is yes.
I'm not the only one.
You are not the only one.
Well, that's a relief.
Perhaps once we get to know each other better, I can... I'm sorry. Sometimes I forget the cultural differences. Scarlet? And Scarlet's ears. Yeah, I let him know a little bit, but, yeah, so,
yeah, it's just, the only other people I've met with runes like mine were, the result of experiments of runes taken from my body, so they were kind of artificially made and not naturally born. So I just was wondering if I'm the only one, or...
She kind of blushes with the information, you spilling the extra information.
Erwin is not going to hold back.
Nice.
She has zero cultural, zero societal whatevers.
Nice. Scarlet continues. I'm sorry. Yeah, as I was saying, there's a little bit of sharing of information, but it's all based on formality and how well you know one another.
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to explain my question a little bit better, like why I was asking.
That's quite all right. Scarlet kind of gives you an eye, like, that's quite all right, Aaronwin. I understand.
Like, shut your face, child.
A little bit, like, I'm sure it's understandable. And he's like, oh, yes, of course.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Goodness.
Of course. Whew. Well, yes. So, I do believe that this and she kind of looks over at Emersina. And what name did you give Em?
I gave her Anar.
Anar, okay. Anar, may I ask, I'm just a little confused. So as you probably know, we don't often leave the city, and it looks like you've participated in, she's blushing a little bit, some of your rites, but you look at an age where I thought most complete them. How did you get permission to leave the city?
I didn't.
Oh, you snuck out?
I'm not from here.
But you are Tyldari. How? Is there another colony of Tyldari? Oh my. From where do you hail?
And I'm just gonna go silent, and I'm just not gonna answer.
Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, of course. I let my curiosity get the better of me. I'm so sorry. Oh, and she's flustered and blushing further. Yes, well, with your request heard, we will bring this to the leading rulers. Yes. And from there, they will get approval from the council, but we'll bring it to the king and queen first, and and we can go from there. Yes. Please don't mention my my brash behavior, please. I might get in a fair bit of trouble already. Are you all ready?
Question.
Yes.
Have you ever stepped outside of the portal? Like, travel further than you normally do?
No, I very much wish I could. It is not allowed for us here in this in Iverness to leave the city. We are to be separate from the rest of the world.
Why is that?
Well, I did ask some rather intrusive questions, so I should answer yes. Well, our civilization here is rather advanced. It could easily be used for very nefarious means, ends. There were certain events that took place long ago that led us here, away from the rest of civilization. And since then, it has been our way to live peacefully, maintain our lifestyle here of peace and accord, where no one is in need, no one wants. Everyone can simply be themselves. And it was decided that we could not maintain that while mingling with the rest of the world, and we would not be able to maintain peace, as many would want our advanced understanding of Arcana and mechanical know-how. And so here we are.
Okay.
I would very much love to hear your stories, though. If you have time and if you return alive.
I hope we have a chance to tell them.
I do hope so. In fact, I will requisition some goods for you, yes, to assist you.
Thank you.
Of course, of course. Very well. Let us head to the royal chamber. And Scarlet, with me. Scarlet skips along with D-Day, and you two head to the chamber. Is there anything that you have questions about or interest in as you're walking through this place, or that you want to do?
Erin, while she's like looking around, is very distracted. Just kind of thinking to herself and just like.
Okay.
As we're walking, is there any writing discernible anywhere that is legible to me, or?
Make if you're you can make a perception check if you're just sort of like walking and thinking about it, or if you want to do an investigation check, like you're actively looking for it, you can do that.
Given all the secrecy, it's going to be investigation. Yeah, it's like what is going on here? Okay, 9 + 9, 18.
There are some things inscribed throughout the architecture. Again, it's very it's all about putting creativity in it. There's a lot more form built in with the function of everything here. And you do see a language that you don't understand.
But what, the original stuff, what language was that in?
The
Common, or just the stuff about the creativity and just anything that I could read, what was it written in?
No, there wasn't anything written in common. That's more like the materials they're using, the colors, things like that show that. Mm-hmm.
So anything that was written, I pretty much couldn't understand.
Right. Unless you, had means to understand other languages.
Gotcha. Which I don't.
Oh, okay. All right.
So what are we walking through, Dan?
You're walking through a huge open spiral where there aren't stairs. It's like a slow and steady incline. It's just such a wide and vast pillar to this part of the building that you can walk up it gradually. There are interconnecting platforms that run across and have areas in the center too that have there is one platform. It's like a level, almost a floor, that has a lot of books, but instead of the normal bookcases, it looks a little more like magazine racks. And plenty. Actually, there's a noticeable lack of railings, probably because they have wings. So it's slightly unnerving. They haven't, updated anything for non-winged folk.
What kind of people are we seeing as we pass through?
More folks in similar garb to Nide here. They're a lot of comfortable clothes that have that are flowing. A bunch of different colors, a fair number of different designs. Everyone seems to have. You can almost pick out what type of skills they have by what they're equipped with. Some carry their chiseling tools along on a belt. Others, have a sword by their side, or a spear in Nide's case. It's almost like an ivory tower in here. A lot of whites and golds and colors like that. Quite a bit of windows, glass panes that some shine, are like stained glass and have different patterns. That as you're walking around the spiral past one of these large windows, you can see that there's just bits and pieces of different shapes of stained glass, and it's only and it casts this light down on the ground in these different spread out shapes. But as you walk, the shapes gradually move with your position, and they line up and make this beautiful seahorse with image on the ground with all the light that's shining through, and it's kind of highly detailed for stained glass. So you're not sure how they they work all that, but there's a lot of stuff like that you can kind of go through. There's a floor where as you pass through it, it starts getting darker, a little bit darker as you're going up, and then it's like you're stepping into this field of outer space where there's just stars stripped across the entire floor, and you can see it's dim light, but they're orbiting little satellites of light that are flying around and buzzing about.
Am I seeing any mechanical work for any of these, or is it just, or no?
Any what?
Mechanical work? Like, am I seeing any mechanical work for these?
Not on these, but you've noticed a lot of tinkering goodies here. A lot of mechanisms to move some of these platforms around. You've seen a number of clocks built into the wall that it's like part, you can see the gearworks, but there's like just a window frame here, glass pane here, glass pane there, so you can see some of the parts working. And then the actual clock face up above. And there's other doodads that just have a lot of those gears and such. Intricate.
Just as a note, I mentioned this last week, but Kaylin is pretty much, since she couldn't find any information on this place, she's been writing things down consistently.
Nice.
And if she's around people, like, she does it as discreetly as she can.
Ooh, okay.
But while we're walking, I'm going to kind of fall back or move, because she kind of stays towards the back of the group to kind of keep an eye out on everyone. So I'll catch up with Mortimer. So what do you think?
It's a little discerning. It's so tough we're in a weird situation here. I mean, I can understand the society's desire to remain unknown, but it doesn't make an easy job for us to establish any kind of trust or this walk into Rivenlost is really worrying me, but
it's pretty amazing. I mean,
yeah,
Nita, in her position, the way that she talked about going outside and traveling, and that she didn't do it, but you could still see that she wanted to. And if someone in her position doesn't travel out, then that probably means none of these people travel.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't wrap my mind around that.
Yeah, it's it kind of makes you question: is this kind of utopia worth the isolation, or
I mean, someone has to dictate
that nothing goes in and out
for them not to go outside.
Yeah.
For it to be so ingrained in their culture, even though they obviously, as I said, you could tell she wanted to. But who has instilled that fear in them that going outside means death?
Yeah,
or
there's
worse.
something more, because it's kind of like contradictory. If you're such an advanced and powerful society, why would you need such isolation and protection?
They have to have a pretty good library.
That too.
That's exciting.
I mean, I'm having an incredibly difficult time figuring out how all this exists and how it works.
stipulations on information sharing. That's interesting.
Well, yeah, they don't want this place to be known. Period. But it's just the how and the why and
Well,
the
she
history of
almost
this place.
seemed bowled over when Erinwin said one sentence about her history.
They're very protected. I don't know
They're
what their
very
ideas.
naive for as advanced as they are.
Yeah, and their ideas of what we are and what we're like, I'm sure have been shaded for the longest time.
Yeah.
We must seem to be like a horde of invaders to them. I mean, not to her, but I mean to anybody we're walking by that have been taught from the beginning to avoid us at all costs.
Do I notice anyone, since I was noticing the people, Dan, do I notice people staring at us?
Make a perception. Make an insight check, because you do, but make an insight check to see what you can.
Natural 20.
Wow, nice. Okay.
I'm not sure if I like that I rolled it now, or because that means I won't roll one later.
Nice. And make a dex save. What?
I'm so insightful.
Nice. Yeah, so you see people trying very hard not to look, but they're failing. They're definitely staring. This is new. Not a lot of people. In fact, you haven't seen anyone else that has Nide's openness. She actually feels like an open individual compared to everyone else. They're very interested, but reserved. It's highly inappropriate for them to be like, "Ooh, what's this?" So they're like, doing their best to like, I don't see anything, but also trying to soak it in.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can see him staring for sure.
It just raises curiosity. I mean, oh man, how has this been around and nobody knows about it?
I'm dying to ask if anyone who has gotten out. I want to talk to them about the people that have actually went outside.
Yeah, I mean, for your library not to have information on this, I mean, it's pretty comprehensive.
No, well, I didn't tell you that my library information, but...
Oops, sorry.
Rewind that.
I don't remember telling you that.
Sorry.
Okay, I guess I was just kind of...
The voice in your head is now Mort.
I guess I was talking during dinner again without thinking.
Nice.
Okay, well, we'll see. I'll just walk along with him.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity, Mort's going to as we're walking down hallways, I'm going to be a little brave and touch the walls and is this materials that I can relate to? Is this, is it almost is this real kind of thing?
Is this real life?
Is this just fantasy?
Nice.
Caught in a landslide.
No escape from reality?
Oh, just open your eyes.
Look up to the skies?
And you'll see.
Awesome.
Somebody stop us.
No, don't stop us. Keep going.
This is great. I can do my side information here. I'm trying to look up. Perfect. Keep it up.
We still have 7 more minutes of the song left.
Oh, that's amazing. So let's see. Nide is going to slow her pace from Scarlet and walk slower to meet pace with Galathor. Hello, I hope you don't mind the company, Galathor.
Oh, no, not at all.
I just we are aware of Helm here. a major deity, to be certain. We don't have anyone that... It's more of a scholarly aspect here than practical. But it intrigues me so. You seem like a rather strong individual. And I'm just curious as to how you said that you protect people and serve. How do you go about doing so? Do you seek this out, or do you just keep a vigilant eye for those around you?
Helm guides my path, and I would say perhaps it's a mixture. If I see an injustice in front of me, I'll definitely address it, but don't necessarily go out of my way.
I see.
The people I'm traveling with, however, we all seem to have a greater path that we're following, so...
I see. Well, actually, I'm just gonna have her do a roll because she's so wants to. So, ooh, nice. So I'm not familiar with what you have access to, where you come from. You said that Helm doesn't directly work with you. Have you ever spoken?
I should be so lucky.
Should you return with your mind intact, perhaps, you see, we have the means here. We do research into the Great Pantheon. There's so much since the last Great War, but we do have access to the different realms of the deities. We do travel sometimes for research if you wish to. I'd hate to see anyone. You're so committed, and I understand it's. I don't understand it. You're so committed, but you haven't ever spoken to Helm. I just thought it might be insightful for you to get some more direct answers. Better know your path.
I appreciate the offer, and we definitely plan on coming back with our minds intact. We've been through harsher scrapes than this, I believe, and yeah.
Exciting.
As I mentioned, I'd rather just get this all over with.
Of course. I'm sorry again for imposing my such rude questions. It's just difficult for me to understand is all. It's I'm sure cultural differences. But the offer's open should you want to consider that upon your return. But of course, no worries if not.
Thank you.
Of course. Do you have your sword on your back?
My short sword.
Okay, but not the one from the birthday party demon.
Is that what you're calling it now?
yeah. Emil called it that. Yeah, I can't remember the name of it ever.
No, the Baylor sword is actually back at Caitlin's. It's not really keep, is it? It's
the estate.
Estate, yes.
Fancy. Okay. Of course. Well, if you'll excuse me then, Galathor. And she walks ahead a little bit. Scarlet slows her pace down a little bit and hangs out next to Aaronwyn. Aaronwyn, that was that's interesting.
What? Sorry, what?
Oh,
mind drifting.
That's okay. Oh, I know all about that, Aaron.
Just does that a lot.
Yeah, it was so interesting to hear about your parents and all that. And what was your question again? Because I can't quite remember, but I was also a little distracted. But I thought maybe I could answer or help.
You see this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of a rune child before?
Heard of, never met. Honestly, I thought it was a bit of a legend.
Well, now you have. So I was just wondering
Exciting.
if I was the only one or if there were any more.
Right. Oh, they are secretive, but I think that so I've only met a few. I've met the king and queen a couple of times. I've met Nide. I've met those from their elite forward force that greeted us at the portal, and just a few others. I like Nide. She feels a little more real. I don't know if it's a cultural thing or not, but she, it feels a little more genuine. A little less. I shouldn't say anything else.
Stuffy?
Yeah, I feel like they all follow with blinders on. But not Nide.
I wonder if Nida's a little bit younger.
I can't tell. I really can't. They all look so young.
It's a little bit spooky.
Yeah. Well, get to know them a little better, and they'll give more information. That's all it is. It's just a formality thing, getting to know, being a little less formal, getting to know them a little better. And I'm sure stick with Nida. I wouldn't ask anyone else. I don't think you're going to find anyone anywhere near as willing to share information as Nida, and everything's really kind of tentative, very,
So I should probably just keep my mouth shut.
You just open it in front of Nide, but so the king and queen here are kind of the opposite. So yeah, I think I kind of keep my mouth shut in here too, because I'm yeah. There aren't too many filters between here and here for me. So
I know how it is. Yeah. I wish she had answered a little bit more though.
Yeah.
Because when I was at the college, they were trying to make artificial rune children.
Oh, really?
She'll show her hand, and there's very faint scars around her hands, and in a few places on her body where they don't have runes now. So they they're trying to make them. So I was just wondering if there were others who were born with it, like me.
Yeah. Were those, do you know if they were successful in making anyone else, artificially? I don't want to pry. I know that's probably a very painful time for you.
I was kind of half conscious most of the time anyways. So, I do remember the few times I was out of my cell, I heard stories about fighting. There was a couple of times where these people were yelling because of explosions or something.
Oh, my.
I don't know.
Not fun. Sounds terrible.
No, yeah, it sucked.
Well, I hope you know I'm here in case you ever just want to have someone to talk with. I haven't been through anything quite like that, but I'm
Thanks,
a good
Scarlett.
listener, of course.
You are. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Sure thing.
And I'll keep my mouth shut.
Nate, she kind of skips ahead and kind of does for herself. Yeah. Nide presses forward a little bit and matches pace with Emersina. Oh, gosh, I'm so sorry, Em. What was the name you gave again? I'll write it down this time, I promise.
I hope so.
Right?
Anar.
Anar. Okay, thank you.
You write it down?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
There'll be a quiz at the break.
Yeah, perfect. Hello again, Anar. Do you mind brief company? I promise I won't be long, and I won't ask anything so rude again.
Okay.
Good. So I do have so many questions. You must have had so many wonderful adventures out there. But I just... We're about the same age, you and I. And I get the sense that I see a sadness in your eyes. That's something that I've experienced too, a long time ago, and it stuck with me for quite a while. And I know that this is probably very different from, or maybe the same, your from where you come. But I just wanted you to know that I am here in case you have any questions. Of course, I can speak much more freely with you. Anyway, I would just ask one thing. As we see the king and queen, please consider, the choice is yours, of course, but please consider not mentioning that you're from elsewhere. They very fiercely believe that we must be closed off from others, and I don't want you to... I don't want them to treat you poorly or any different simply because you come from another place with other Tyldari.
Wouldn't they already know that I'm not from here?
Oh, they know they're... perhaps. I mean, they know many of their subjects, but not all. I think they may find it curious that you're, our age and have not completed all the rites. But that's not entirely unheard of. I don't think they would assume that... They're under the assumption that there are no other Tyldari. I certainly won't mention anything, of course. It's not my business or my place to. I just felt this... I know that the feeling behind those eyes, and felt a kinship with you, and I would be happy to give you any information without asking for any in return. And you get the gist that that's sort of a moderately big gesture for this culture. Just so you know, I'd be happy to let you know of your fellow people here in our city, in Iverness. Anyway, I'm probably making things terribly awkward.
I might ask you about the rites afterwards.
Of
We'll
course,
see each other again.
I would be happy to answer anything. Of course,
I'm
any
gonna-
single plea.
I'm gonna hide my necklace underneath
Oh, okay.
because it's my
Right.
it shows my family crest.
Awesome.
I'm like tucking it in, and she's talking to me.
Nice.
Nothing to see here.
Well, you know what? Make a sleight of hand check.
Shit.
I mean,
No, that's not how that works, Dan. No.
Oh my god, I got a 10.
You see her sort of like looking at you. Gives a little bit of a head bow to you. Well, I thank you for your openness with me. Again, should you need anything, Anar, I'm here. I do look forward to getting to know you a little better and sharing any information I can, especially about the rites. I don't know if we share the same rites, but they're wonderful.
You mean there's different types?
Well, there's only one type that I know of, but I thought perhaps in your culture, in your city, place of residence, that they may have changed over time. Of course, we've been here for a very long time, so I imagine they may have developed differently over time. But they are a sacred and beautiful thing. I also find myself a bit in awe of you. I admire you for being out there in the world and experiencing life in other cultures and seeking knowledge and finding your own path. Very courageous and very inspiring. I do wish so to hear tales of your life and adventures, if you're willing later, of course. Nothing you must do, of course. A humble request, if you would, if you'd consider it.
I'll consider it.
Wonderful.
You should step out more often.
Would that I could. I am hoping one day to, as a liaison, be given permission to head to Zambora, at least, and experience their city. It does seem quite wonderful. But one can hope.
Does she see the crest at all?
Ooh, you're not
As
sure.
I'm
Make an
as I'm
insight
looking-
check. Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. That's what you can do. To try and read her face. She did make a face. Yep. As you tucked it in. Nothing like, but just like, yeah, like what? Yeah.
They're still alive. That's saying something.
She's like,
Would it have been something that she's seen before, or is she too young to...
not sure.
We shall talk more afterwards.
Oh, lovely, lovely. Thank you so much, Anar. Well, I must see that the sentries open the door. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Gives you another little bow.
Pleasure is all mine.
And she scoots ahead. And it's just sort of, walking past, Blueberry and Emil's sort of somehow in the shadows, even though it's so bright in here. You head up the ramp and you arrive at, a sort of underwhelming door. You would have maybe expected in a palatial building like this some grand doors, but they're just like two really heavy red, Moranti mahogany doors. So they're nice, but they're just regular size and 7 feet tall or so. They swing open. There are two guards out front. and inside is a bathroom. Nide says, if any of you need to go take care of any of nature's calling, we can do so before we...
I start running.
Queen.
I'm so nervous. I have to pee all the time.
That's awesome.
I'm fine. And then halfway through the dungeon, I really need to go.
But did we say Galathor? You know?
I told you before we left.
Awesome. All right, so for those who don't know, we take like an 8 to 10 minute bio break. I'm definitely making another cup of coffee, and we'll catch you back here. We'll have our Be Right Back screen up, but we're going to remain with audio on, just so y'all know, so we can chat with you. Hey. All right, catch you all shortly.
Sorry, that was my kid.
Sweet, sweet coffee. it. Creak. Have a good night, Victoria. If you're still in here, chat. Oh. My headphones in here, probably. Here we go. Excuse me. Horsey toad, that's funny. Alright, we'll take our BRB sign down. Hey Sam and Frank, look at back. Oh, I gotta remind Em about the video cover. I shall wait and see what happens when she comes back. Steph.
Hi.
She's back. Alright, we've seen that. We're here in New Civilization. Need a kind of sized here a little bit. There we go. Alright, I should reword our tweet thing for returning from break.
Dan, Melissa put into the group chat that she sent you a message, a private message. And that she also wanted to do a little bit of RP for Immersina when we go back.
Ooh, okay. Double ooh. I'll have to look that up. Let's see that. Alright, I'm going to put the tweet command in. And wait a minute until it comes back. Can I get that fixed? Should fit in there. And then I will answer Melissa's question. Oh, beginning of November, huh? Does that mean it's almost okay for Christmas music?
No, Dan.
No,
You still have at least 3 weeks. At least.
you have to wait till after Thanksgiving.
I mean, there is
Yeah.
no Thanksgiving music, so I mean, what are you gonna do?
At least 3 weeks.
I think that was my least favorite part of working in retail.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Oh. Yeah, that's incessant when they just. When they incessantly play the music, that's just like.
Yeah, it's just so excessive when people bring out Christmas stuff in the middle of the year, Dan, right? Man, so excessive.
Like 2 months ago, it's like it's just around the corner. It's like 4 months
I
away.
bet you were. You were probably saying that in like March.
Nice.
Christmas is soon.
I understand why people get onto it early, because there are people who, as soon as September starts, will get into the Halloween spirit. So it's kind of like the same
Yeah.
length of time for the holidays. For me, October is Halloween,
Mm-hmm.
November is Thanksgiving, December
Yes.
is Christmas.
Yes.
It's like each month has its own holiday for a reason.
Nice.
Dan.
Lonely August.
Yeah.
Poor August.
Yep. August.
August has back to school. That's a holiday.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, if you're really cheery and enjoying life, just go work retail in December.
Don't do it. Don't
That'll-
do it.
Talk
Don't
about
destroy
a
your
soul-crushing experience.
I love telling stories. So I worked way back in the day, 99 to 2001. I was a pharmaceutical technician at Walmart. And they pulled me from...
That already makes me wince.
Oh my gosh. They pulled me from pharmacy to work the registers up front because for Black Friday. And we had to do, apparently there's this thing where the cashiers had to stand up on the big red line, like at the beginning of the registers to like welcome people down, like, hey, I'm available.
Yep.
And so the doors were still locked. So we all lined up. It was all the cash registers, and then around the corner is the carts, the carriages, and the main entrance. Across the way, standing on this line and looking across at like the soft line, all the clothing. And it's whatever, dark 30, Friday morning, Black Friday. And they let the people in, and it was one of the scariest scenes. It was like from it was a cinematic shot where I looked to my right down the long aisle, I'm in the very last register, past all the other people standing there, and around the corner, people are running, grabbing carts out of where they all line up, boom, 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 and they're running so fast the carts are moving back and forth like this, and it's like this train sound as they're just barreling down. I'm like, oh my word, what have I gotten into?
You're literally Kevin Bacon in Animal House. All is well. No reason to panic.
That's awesome.
Well, your first mistake was working at Walmart.
Yeah.
Real. Oh my
I
gosh.
have worked there myself. I was an actual cashier too, so it's like,
Okay.
just kill me now.
Oh, forget it. Blech.
Yeah. My favorite story is about the lady who came up to me, and she had just like the weirdest collection of stuff. Like there was like a 4-pack of like Starbucks Frappuccinos. I had to double bag everything, and then she had like, no joke, 97 bottles of isopropyl alcohol, like the rubbing alcohol for first aid kit, like that. And then she's like, hey, you no more than 4 of these in one bag, and everything has to be double bagged. And it was like that the entire time. And then she screamed at me because when I turned the bag carousel, they fell over in the bag.
Did not remain upright.
No. So it's like physics are a thing.
Yeah. What?
And I used so much plastic with that one lady.
Thanks
and
for
then the
killing
customer after
Planet
her was
Earth
my
lady.
mother.
Like,
Nice.
you want to ask her, are you embalming someone? What are you doing?
I don't know. She was like this 80-year-old woman, bitter and
so
angry at the
weird.
world.
Yeah.
And it was a whole bunch of like weird like first aid kit stuff like that, and then the 4-pack of Starbucks Frappuccinos. But then like 80 plus of everything else. It's like, what is happening? She didn't even have any coupons or anything. I was like, what is going on?
Right?
Anyways, that's my cashier story.
What's happening here? Fun. Alright, let me get your thing back. Yeah, I just I checked here and then checked in I have like the original whole breakdown, and it's not in there. I was like, oh, well, that's a bummer.
Alright. And my kid's throwing a tantrum because his mac and cheese has not cooled down.
Oh no.
So
There's a problem here, Mom.
you need to fix it. But I have to wait for mine to cool down too.
Sounds just about right.
Right? I did not order hot mac and cheese. My kids do the same thing. Like, yeah, actually, you didn't make it, and we didn't order it. This isn't a restaurant. So give it a hot second. Oh, miss you too, Mariah. It'd be nice once you're backcycle. But I'm glad you're having fun doing your thing there. That's really nice. Your play. Yay! Alright, let me see if this is in fact going to fit in a tweet. Oh, just barely. Alright, good. Boom, 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 boom.
dun 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 dun.
Of course, I think the supernatural clip there with what's his name, Jensen Ackles, and he did a whole little silly bit. No, okay, well, it's funny. If you watch Supernatural, you should do it. All right, so we are back. There are it's just one giant bathroom for everybody. Yay, other cultures. But plenty of different, stalls and separate areas, plenty of privacy. M, did you have something you wanted to do whilst there? Take your time.
I'm really glad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really glad that the bathrooms weren't the dreaded wall in the men's bathrooms sometimes.
Right? My daughter got her first job at McDonald's, and she was like, I'm never going to complain about using the women's public restroom again. She's like, I had to go in and clean the men's one. I was like, we're disgusting. Have you not gotten that yet? We are disgusting. Like, I don't want to go in there. You poor thing. Oh, coffee's delicious.
I'm like throwing stuff at him to get him to stop crying.
Oh, yeah.
It's late, so.
Yeah, that overtired face is extra fun. Yeah. I like it when they're like, oh, they get like the histrionic level where they're just like throwing themselves, like, oh.
That's like the worst. Someone just throw them out the window.
Yeah, take a break. Yeah. Children's.
In answer to your question, yeah, I wanted to kind of state that M is dry heaving in the bathroom right now.
Oh, poor Em.
She didn't show it while they were walking down the hallway and everything, and while they were talking and stuff, but she is really overwhelmed by everything that's going on, kind of like overstimulated.
Ah, right.
And just taking it all in, and she finishes dry heaving and goes to the sink and looks at herself in the mirror and takes a couple of deep breaths, trying to figure all this out. And she's just so, you know how, hold on, you're so silly. He's got the goggles on his eyes.
Oh, that's adorable.
You know how, I know, baby, I know. When you find something that kind of fills your hole or something like that, not really sure how to take it all in, but you're frustrated at the same time, you're kind of pissed off.
Right.
So she's kind of pissed off that she's missed out on all of this. And, oh, great, you got mac and cheese all over my laptop. Well, be gentle. Jesus, dude. Mama? Yes, I see you. Anyway, so she's she's sad, but she's like pissed off, and she is going to punch her reflection in the mirror.
Nice. Make a strength check if you would. I want to see if this bad boy breaks. Ooh, got pretty solid strength too. It's enough to break a mirror. Cracks up the the side. Someone may or may not hear that elsewhere in the bathroom. It's pretty, a section for everybody.
Oh, hold on.
Hear some of the breaking of the glass. Did anyone else have to use the bathroom? Did anyone else, I mean, like, character-wise, would anyone else be in there?
I don't know if anybody else heard that.
Erwin might. Yeah. Some pieces tinkered to the ground.
Just kind of looks around like.
Mm-hmm.
Are you in the bathroom with me, or are you right outside?
I'm confused about how this bathroom is built, so.
Yeah, it's instead of just stalls for the toilets, there's sort of compartmentalized rooms. They're sort of like larger stalls that have a sink in it. Well, it's advanced, so they've got some indoor plumbing here.
Like IKEA and Bed Bath & Beyond.
But it's still open enough where you'd hear it in the bathroom, yeah.
So she'd hear it and just kind of be like, "Huh, that's weird." Okay.
You hear the.
Yeah, and then she'll step out and just kind of wait to see who else steps out and just.
Oh, okay. You hear some footsteps outside the stall area, and someone else is in here.
I'm okay. No, I'm just kidding. I'm okay. But after the mirror shatters, she's gonna walk out.
Okay, Aaron, Emersina walks out.
Hey, you okay?
I'll be fine.
All right. Do you need a hug?
And then I'm gonna visibly tense up for about 5 seconds. And then, okay.
Give her a really big hug.
Oh.
Just like a really big, like, tight mom hug.
Oh, I love those kinds of hugs. Thank you.
Yeah, I guess this must be really weird for you, huh?
Yeah, it's a lot to take in, and
Surprise! Emersina's a mom.
Wait, what?
I have a child.
Big reveal.
Oh my gosh, dude, chill out. Oh my gosh. It's just overwhelming.
Yeah, she'll kind of just keep hugging you and, well, I'm sorry, but, we're here for you, and it'll get better.
That entirely depends on what happens in that room.
Well, even if things don't go well in that room, we're still here for you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Do you have any bandages by chance?
Any what?
Bandages?
Yeah, we'll say you were supplied with some, because you've been supplied by a number of places so far. I'm sure they would have given you bandages.
Okay. Here, let me help you wrap that up there. That's pretty awesome, by the way. Just drawing enough to break a mirror.
Thank you.
She'll help you wrap up your hand.
Cool, you get that cool, like, wrap bandage around, and it has
the
like
anime
the
fist.
thing. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
It's right on the first two knuckles, like a perfect punch. Awesome. Awesome.
And the light shifts in your hand is anime. It's like, what?
What's this? Yeah. All right. Ultimately, the two of you come on out. Everyone's sort of awkwardly waiting in the hallway.
Before we walk out, I'm also gonna say, so hey, and if you want to get away, but you don't want to be alone, I'll fly around with you too if you need that.
Really?
Yeah. Because then you can be by yourself but not alone. Because we don't really know this place, so getting lost might not be the best thing to do. So if you want, I'll fly with you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, on the guy's side, Galathor's probably on one side of the bathroom, and then Mortimer's on the other side.
Right.
And Emil's nowhere to be seen.
At least three stalls separating us.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Eyes forward.
There's halfling and gnome size ones too.
That's amazing. That's funny. Yeah, there probably wouldn't be anything gnome size here, huh? That'd be fun.
Just pull out the carpet. You're fine.
Oh, amazing.
Happy Halloween.
He takes out the magic carpet, gets on the magic carpet.
This is cool, right, guys? Yeah.
This is and now we know why Morton had to learn telepathy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. All right. Once you all head back out and continue on your way, Nide ushers you into another room up top that has no doors. It's a large open doorway. A lot of gold and silver filigree around its perimeter there. And as you enter the first space, it's rather light. Again, a lot of ivory and gold in here. It's a room that's maybe 25 by 20 feet. So not as spacious as a lot of the other areas you've been in. There are a number of Tyldari in here. Seem to be huddled around someone across the room, listening. And as Nide steps forward, I have arrived with Councilperson Shuffletrot and her party. And she bows down to one knee. And pushing forth from the crowd of people is this individual. She pushes forth. She has a bit, her garb seems to be flowing in the wind, those different tears and pieces of her cloth, including the scarf. All seem to kind of float in the air, almost more like it's floating in water than held aloft by air. She has a flaming sword that is incredibly similar, Galathor, to the one in its any arcana you sense off of it, not quite the shape, but still very similar with the flames and all. The decoration on the hilt and the handle, and even some of the decoration on the blade to the one that you recently acquired from the birthday demon. Emil's got it plugged into my head now, so that's unfortunately my brain decided to remember that. Yeah. I welcome you all to Iverness. Councilperson Shuffletrot. She kind of clears her throat to need a yes, the High Lady, Queen Nadrell, addresses you all now. and she, bows again. She's bent down on one knee. Nide is bowing. Councilperson Shuffletrot gets down on one knee and bows as well, just in that position.
I'll do that too. Just get down on one knee, but kind of like looking up really curiously, like, how does she get her clothes to do that? That's really cool.
Nice.
And it's so similar to my cloak.
Oh, right.
Is that a dress of billowing?
Caitlin will bow as well.
Yes.
Likewise.
Yeah. Just sort of like, okay, we're all doing it. All right.
Emil and Blueberry do the same.
I won't bow on my knee, but I will do it like bow from the waist.
Okay.
Like I'm standing. I can't do it in the super corset. But
Oh, yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Nice. Okay. You bow down. And then Nide, the Queen Adrel, and Nide and Councilperson Shuffletrot stand back up. Meal and Blueberry and anyone else that wants to can stand back up, of course, as well. If you want to, you seek an audience. Yes. We'll be prepared momentarily when my husband returns. Let us head to the antechamber. Snaps her fingers, and a bunch of these other Tyldari open up some heavy brass doors in the back. And she just turns and walks through them. Nide, yes, come along. Okay. You head in
Caitlin
here.
will kind of like pull the notebook out and just kind of jot a couple of things down really quick and hastily stuff it back into her bag.
Okay. Nice.
Just real quick, out of curiosity,
Yeah.
since we've been here, has boards, I've been looking around and all this, taking all this in. Everybody seems young. Has he seen anybody old?
Nadrell is probably one of the oldest you've seen, and she still only looks, in human standards, maybe, mid to late 30s.
Okay, exactly.
She could look that way and be older.
Yeah.
Okay.
Elves.
Yeah.
What you're talking about?
They do inform, aside from the wings, have a lot of similarities to wood elves in particular.
Okay.
The next room you go into has very dim light, except for this smoky pillar of light in the center of the room. This room is massive. You don't see the other side. You can see just as you enter, it seems to be cylindrical, at least on this side, as there's a very slight curve to the wall as it wraps around. But there are probably 40 to 50 some Tyldari jostling about, around the perimeter of this room. You can hear them all around the room. You can see several near you in either area. And, thank you for the follow. Yay. Queen Nadrell begins walking forward as you hear a large flap of feathery wing. And blocking the light, this pillar of light diffused by all this smoke or mist, fog, creating this big shadow, a form falls from up above somewhere.
Whoa.
Oh boy.
Is he hooded like that, Dan, or
He
no?
is, yep.
Okay. All right.
Remind me of Diablo.
And hovers, 5 feet off the ground. Probably about 15 feet off the ground with the size of his wing. Sheathes his sword and settles down 1 foot and then the other. Walks over as Nadrell walks out to meet him. Nide walks you up to the perimeter, like the inner part of this band of people around the perimeter, but stops everyone there. Nadrell pauses next to this figure and turns around. Your king, Vaslo, has returned. Let us honor him in his return, in his fair and just watch. Oops. Over this city of Iverness. And she bows. Everyone collectively clanks down with armor and weapon down to Nide, and Scarlet do as well. One gives a bow before rising, and he seems to have a quiet conversation. What's it? Good. Oh, the kid. Yeah, gotcha. He has like a quiet conversation. It seems with his wife first, before Nadrell turns toward you, and Vaslo behind, and they walk over. He looks around to everyone and gives a sort of a clap to everyone in the room. Well done, all of you. Another day, the city safe and peaceful. I applaud you all. And there's some cheering and hooing and hawing. Return to your families. Rest another night. And they all fly up and apparently out of this somewhere up above, leaving Nadrell, Vaslo, and you standing on the edge of this pillar of light diffused through the smoke and fog.
Just out of sheer nervousness, Erin is going to turn 3 more of her runes on. Spend 3 more points to turn them on, because this is creepy.
Nice. Okay.
So I only have 4 glowing. Okay. So I'm not glowing, but
okay.
There's a few.
Nice. And M?
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over Sam. No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm just going to visibly stiffen up and kind of go into a stance of kind of defense mode a little bit.
Okay. All right. Yeah, there's an air of no nonsense about Vaslo intentionally. He walks over, face still hooded and really shaded. It's almost like perhaps some form of magical darkness. You can see just sort of the tip of his nose and little bits that the light seems to get. As he walks back, he tucks his wings behind him, but they're still huge over the back of his shoulders. Lady Nadrell sheathes her flaming sword as well, putting out some light in the area, making it just a little bit darker. Fun. They approach. King Vaslo looks at all of you. Looks over to Nadrell. Yes, my husband, King Vaslo, greets you all. And he just looks, turns his head a bit, expecting introductions after being introduced. I'm councilperson Shuffletrot again. Pleasure. It's a pleasure. Nita just bows.
My name is Kaylin. Stormforge.
Get the shadow going.
Wow.
Whatever.
Calthor Ainsley.
I'm Erin.
He gets a meal and blueberry. Looks up at M.
Anar.
I've just returned. I know not what you seek here. Though Nadrell tells me it concerns Rivenlost. What does Zambor ask of us?
Yeah, kind of look at.
Caleb will kind of look at Shuffletrot.
Yeah, we all kind of like turn to something. Yeah,
So she still gets a little like, what? With this guy. Oh, right. I'm so sorry. Yes, we seek permission to trek to Rivenlost in hopes of speaking with the China Sphinx. With your kingness's permission. Bows and looks up a few times. Nide, yes, my lord, they seek permission to enter there. They have a great need to get answers to save an ancient. Wait, did she know? Let me think. I'm pretty sure Scarlet would have shared that with her because it would weigh into their decision. An ancient dragon, my lord. I felt surely this would be such an important task that of course we would let them go. But of course I've brought it before you and Lady Nadrell. I humbly request on their behalf access to Rivenlost, please, my lord. She bends down, and then he's in darkness. There we go. I am unsure that the council would approve such a thing. Speak the name of this dragon.
He's an ancient gold dragon named the Runekeeper. I don't know his draconic name.
Nide, surely you know. She kind of my lord, the bonnet now, nice. My lord, we did not have time to. You like it? We did not have time to research this. But the authenticity stands. This dragon is known among to us and among others. So with time we can get his name, certainly. I care not for your excuses, Nide. How do we know whether this dragon is truly good?
It's a gold dragon.
Young one, I have met many a good dragon turned. I have had a good friend that once turned the ways of a Dracolich. It happens. We must be safe. We must be sure. Nide, send someone who can get this information and bring it to me.
That's rather rude and prying to try to find out a dragon's true name.
That is not your business. You see a slight glow from his eyes, a little tinted light blue.
I'm cocking an arrow.
She'll just glare back.
Okay, we have a...
We
Okay.
we mean you no disrespect, of course. Our friend is just very sensitive when it comes to draconic things.
As am I. I have known ancient dragons. I would make sure they are in good standing.
And I am the child of an ancient dragon. I think I would know my own people.
So, what you're telling me is that you are vouching for this dragon.
Yes.
Then I will hold you responsible.
We all do.
Very well. Kind of leans up a little bit. You just catch a little glimpse of his face, which sort of has still some wood elf. Again, you just get a little more of his nose, and has that tinier, more narrow nose that wood elves often have. And that's about it. You just get a little glint of light and some high cheekbones. Oops. Okay. What information do you seek? Perhaps we hold this knowledge. We can spare you the trip.
He's locked his soul away in an attempt to keep a demi-lich from escaping.
That is a
We're
painful
trying to
practice.
find a way to turn him back to his normal form.
And how do you all know this dragon? Are you familiar?
He's helped us before.
Of course. Kind of gives a spread out into his wings for a moment. Again, blocks out a bunch of extra light with a wingspan.
As he makes it darker, I'm going to activate one more rune so that I'm glowing.
Okay. Tell me which runes you have glowing.
I have
If
these
you
written down
please.
for a reason.
Sorry.
Forehead, the back of both her hands, her heart, and between her shoulder blades. So the one on her back just starts glowing softly, and then she starts letting off light.
Oh,
Just as it goes dark, she's just like, nah. So I don't like this.
My arrow is still cocked.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. Nice.
As he's doing that, Dan, Kaylin will kind of, I'm guessing I'm yelling because he's still floating, right? So I'm yelling up at him. I'd be yelling up at him anyways.
Standing. He's standing. Yeah. Either way, I guess she would be. No, he's standing. Yeah.
But isn't he is he not floating off the ground or no?
No, he landed.
Okay. It's of the utmost importance. He warned us of dangers that lie beyond your city. It could even affect your city. I'm not sure. And he's the one that would hold the answers as to what's to come. I've seen a prophecy of this.
He takes a few steps up, walks past you towards Aaronwin, reaches a finger out, snaps, and your bow shatters. He leans down towards Aaronwind. He probably stands like 8 feet tall or so. And as he leans close, you can see his face as a rune activates on his forehead. 20 different runes start to appear, and he has this incredible blinding light for a moment. It's hard to look in at. He lets them die out. He goes back to darkness. I don't know why I took my hat off. He just looks at you.
You're a rune child too.
Kind of almost ignores you and looks up over at M. We'll talk more later, young one.
You know not of what you have just done.
Nice. He walks over to you, Em. Oh, let's see. How do I want to go about this?
As he walks towards me, I'm going to take out my short daggers.
Nice. He just continues to approach you.
Kaylin's going to take a step forward. Just a
Worry
step.
not, dwarf.
Stand my ground.
Nice. He continues to walk towards Ab. He's maybe about 10 feet.
I'm going to walk towards him, and I'll keep walking faster and faster and like kind of going like this.
Okay. He walks until, he's just, unless Kaylin blocks him any further, he's just going to walk until he's sort of face to face, like a foot away from you.
No, I'm just ready, just in case he tries to do anything.
All right, he stands a little bit above you because you're pretty tall. Oh, no, you're not. You're like 5'4", right?
He's got my notebook right now coloring in it, so...
Oh, no problem.
I'm definitely shorter than him, but not by too much, I don't think.
Okay, neat. So he looks down. Is there anything you do now that he's like a foot away?
Oh gosh. I'm gonna just dead ass stare him straight in the eyes.
Nice. And you can see just like a little crescent moon shape in his eyes of this light blue that's glowing a little bit. Snaps his finger again, and a bow is back in one piece on the floor before you. Turns and walks back to Adrel. Then turns back and faces you all once again.
Wait, what just happened?
He unshattered your bow. He brought it back to what it was like half a minute ago.
I'm just gonna stand there stunned, sheathe my daggers, and pick up my bow.
Okay.
Weird flex, but okay.
Nice. Helm. Do you find much justice in this world?
I like to think that I help bring justice to this world.
A warrior, then.
Rex, you are?
You do not have the scent of Zambora on you. You are travelers, then?
Yes.
It is good that there are those that would fight on behalf of a dragon. I had not seen much of this when last I saw the world. He leans back and pulls his hood down. And, well, I don't have his actual face image done yet. He has some interesting features. It looks like a Tyldari wood elf face. However, it's a lot more rugged than they typically are. The bone structure is kind of built up. He actually has a couple scars. One that kind of is a crescent shape down his face. He has another one that goes across the side of his throat from here to here. And I'm trying to think what else. I mean, he's wood elf, so his eyebrows are on fleek. He's got no facial hair.
Worse.
But a fairly sturdy build. I wouldn't say handsome, but rugged. For sure. He has hair, well, a little longer than mine, but it's shaven on the sides, but it's done up in a really intricate sort of fancy, whatever you call it, where you tie your hair all together. Brain's not working right now. He looks around, making sure everyone's left at this point. Forgive me, if you would. I am still scarred by my interactions with those in the rest of the world. Very distrustful. And I should not be. My apologies. And he looks to Aaronwyn. You are right. I find myself open when speaking of dragons, as I know many. But certainly not in front of others. He gives you a little head bow, Aaronwyn. And kind of looks, he looks at Em. We do not allow weapons to be drawn on one another here. But I understand why you would. It is very noble. And he kind of also nods his head at, Kaylin and such, to protect a friend. I ask your forgiveness for my rudeness. And he gives a deep bow to everybody.
Kaylin kind of looks at Aaronwyn and Immersina.
Nice.
I'll kind of she's still visibly in shock and just staring at him.
Nice.
I'll acknowledge him with a nod, but that's about it.
Okay. Helm is a fine deity. I have met him once. I feel that he would be proud of you. Your spirit, warrior spirit. He looks over at Mort. It has been a very long time since I've seen or spoken with a deep gnome. You must have journeyed far.
I know normally my kind does not seek interaction with others, but I am different. I seek knowledge, and I seek to see the world. But more importantly now, in my journeys, I have learned the value of helping others.
Such valor. And, just kind of gives Blueberry a scan over and a nod. And it looks over into the darkness and just kind of nods where no one really sees anything. But Emil's over there. He sees him. It was rude of me to call you dwarf as well. I would not appreciate it if someone simply called me Tyldari. Again, my distrust has run deep. But your councilperson, Shuffletrot, has proven to be quite kind, sound of mind. And I do trust her judgment and who she brings. But do not flee, Kaylin. Not just kidding.
Come back.
And let's see. And oh, right, Aaron went with him, more specific. It has been countless ages since I have seen another rune child. When we come to know one another better, I do hope to discuss this with you further and hear of your journey. You are a brave one.
I didn't know there were others.
We have an incredible history. One which I hope to be able to share with you one day. We also have a duty, but that's for later. Looks around, Nadrell looks at him. They kind of have a moment. Oh, right, she has a lower voice. She smokes. Well, hello. No.
She doesn't get enough. It's too much. She's flying too high. She doesn't get enough oxygen.
Nice.
Say Mike Wazowski.
Awesome.
I'm watching you, Wazowski.
That's fantastic. All right. Nadrell says, well, we shall take this before the council, of course. I don't know that they will freely agree to this, but I believe we can persuade them. I do not see any harm. You will be asked to... You'll be halted before returning to the city. Asked to share anything that you find not with us to keep. We simply don't want anything from that place entering the city without us making sure it's safe first. It is a dangerous place, but a magical place. There are powerful artifacts there. Some with a mind of their own. Others that can wield destruction or creation. Will you submit to that as a request? A condition?
So just to understand, Dan, she's saying that we can't bring anything back from Ravenloft into the city?
Without them checking it for safety
Okay.
first.
Oh, okay.
Basically, we have to go through security to get back in.
Yeah.
It's
Right,
like customs.
right. Customs. Right.
Go through customs. You have anything to declare?
Yeah.
Any fruits or meat?
Yeah, he kills us over a pineapple.
Nice. And if there's anything dangerous, they'll just, either let you leave with it and return to Zambora, or keep it somewhere safe outside of the city until you're ready to
Okay.
return.
That's reasonable.
While the council deliberates, who's this? Vaslo. Okay. While the council deliberates, we will give you residence here in the city. Please enjoy all the fruits of our labor. No money is necessary. We simply provide for one another. I humbly request some provisions, Your Highnesses, for them on their journey. I know we cannot attend with them, but perhaps we can arm them or supply them with potions of healing or something. Yes? Very well. Show them to the quartermaster. See what supplies we can send them off with. Have you been warned of Ravenloft? The effects on the mind and the dangers therein?
Vaguely, yes.
Yes. Foul creatures live there, lurk there. They prey on creatures that find their way in. Other creatures lose their mind and become fell beasts. Succumb to the dark evil of that place. Magic is strong there, but unsteady. We will support your quest, but be prepared.
Thank you.
Of course. The city is yours. If you enjoy the arts, I suggest you head to the theater, see a play, attend a crafting seminar, enjoy a museum. Our home is yours.
Mort's going to take a step forward, and say, you know why we're here? Do you know the cause? Are you aware of the cause?
The dragon, yes.
Well, who caused the issue with the dragon?
No.
Well, you have been fair with us, so I don't want you to go in without knowing. His name is Yathaz Bavar.
You see his face kind of darken with that shadowy magic again. Yathaz?
I'm almost certain.
Returned?
He is trying.
How on earth was he released?
We're not sure. But part of the solution to the problem involves us helping the Runekeeper. I felt you should know.
It is good that you share this. I have a history with Yathaz. A great war many years ago. I was part of the force that took him down. He was raising an entire continent of undead as an army. I believe you call it Calborum.
Thank you. That's interesting.
He is tactical. He is evil and self-serving. We must be vigilant. Councilperson Shuffletrot. Speak with the rest of your council. See if they will allow an envoy, that we may share our history with you. Perhaps some training. You seem a little bit lost in thought. This is disturbing news. I must go. Madrill, shall we? She kind of was like, yeah, what up, let's go. Enjoy the city. Nide will see to your needs. Farewell. He kind of pulls his wings out and flies back a little bit and up. Madrill goes with him.
Does the badass...
Yeah.
Dust really gets in your lungs.
And Nide kind of kneels down, and Councilperson Shuffletrot does. They fly away, and you're left in this smoky room with Nide and Councilperson Shuffletrot, and they stand up, and Shuffletrot, Scarlet's like, I can't get used to that. I can't.
Does
Quite a
anyone
sight.
else smell the wine and sweet perfume?
Do I?
I don't know.
For a smile, we can share the night.
Nice.
Wow.
That's so great. But we've got help, it sounds like, if the council approves. She looks up at Nide. Oh yes, you speak modestly. They carry great weight with the council. I imagine it will be secured by morning. As for us, we should stop by the quartermaster. But tell me, what do you wish to see of the city? Do you wish to dine? Do you wish to dance?
She'll never danced in her life. I'm not sure.
Nice.
Is there? Would we have access to the library?
Well, there are many libraries, certainly.
Keelan smiles.
Nice. A great number of histories. That's our focus here. We're all a bit of... we have scholars. We're all scholars. We have an entire entity of sages that seek knowledge. That is their life's purpose. To seek,
And
record.
Do they travel outside the city to do this?
Yes, but only within the... There are many ruins here. Oh, that's adorable. Sorry. Yes, you can see her struggling. She wants to answer, but she gets that out. She's,
It's okay.
not to a populated place, but
Sure.
yes. Yeah. But you, that's awesome, Prince Star. You can dance if you want to. You can bring your friends.
Leave your
along.
friends.
Yeah.
But if your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance well.
They're no friends.
They're
of
no
mine.
friends of mine.
Nice.
Oh, God.
We are awesome.
Sorry to those drinking for every song lyric.
Oh gosh. No
Someone's,
kidding.
You're gonna have a hangover in the morning.
someone's
Or
gone.
they'll be dead. Yeah. So, think about it then. If no one's sure, certainly.
I like
you've
to
been-
see one of the libraries, of course.
I
Wonderful.
would like to check in with your arcane sages.
Yes, indeed. It's the first time that the king has granted free reign to anyone to the city. course, amongst ourselves, we provided for. We simply provide for one another, and everyone's needs are met. But this is, I'm excited. This is a bit of an honor.
We feel honored. Caitlin kind of looks throughout the group, trying to like.
I'll say to Shuffletrot, I apologize if I overstepped, but I felt he needed to know.
No, that's good information. I'm thinking if Scarlet even had it. Did you all tell her? Because if you didn't tell her, she wouldn't even have that info yet.
You tell her what?
That it was Ythaz.
I don't think we told her the name.
Okay.
I think we just told. Maybe Delorna.
Yeah.
And maybe we told Scarlet about just it was the skull.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know who that is, but it sounds scary, and it's. I should probably find out who it is.
A demi-lich.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah, something about a skull.
Ew.
Mm-hmm.
I always hated fighting those things.
Mm-hmm.
Skulls and
undead.
Caitlin cringes a bit at the mention of the skull.
Yeah.
I had to fight with my adventuring party this gross rotting beholder. It was like undead.
Aaron visibly shivers at the mention of the beholder.
I think it's time to move on to the library.
Yeah.
Maybe we should break up right now.
There's a lot of like uncomfortable information right now.
Nice. Yeah, I know. Poor Nita's like.
So Shuffletrot really like. So please show me to or Nita. Someone show me to the
of course.
library.
Yes, please. Oh my. Hearing all that Shuffletrot info. Let us head to the quartermaster first, yes? And she shows you around. It's not in in the palace. You actually go back out through the city, which seems to have over a portion of it, this dome, over one half or almost 2/3 that comes up. Which is just curious in this semicircle of a city, almost like a blockade for something on that side. But
are we going towards that dome?
Yes.
Or no?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, does it look like we're going inside of the dome? Is that where they're taking
well,
us?
it doesn't close like the whole city. It's like a dome that covers 2/3 of the city and then just stops. The other third of the city's open, so it's kind of like a shield that protects that half of the city from something.
Caitlin just kind of says aloud, "Oh, that dome is really interesting."
Oh, yes. Yes. She catches herself. I mean, you're welcome to, try and persuade with some other persuasive comments if you want.
Are you kidding? Caitlin persuading?
Nice.
Yeah.
You know better.
Hashtag dumpstat.
Actually, Erinwin will try to persuade.
Okay.
She's curious, just like, what? That reminds me a little bit of the dome that covers the place in the city that leads to here in Zambora. Is that similar?
Yes, it's good and earlier.
That's a 17 persuasion.
Okay.
Yeah, but you got an inspiration die.
I do.
Yeah, you rolled the 704.
Nice.
I can't see anybody's rolls. So I can only see mine.
You had the best.
Oh, what is it?
It's a D. Let's see.
Is it a D14?
No, that's the DM one. This is whatever
All right.
bards would be. I think it's a D10, right?
D10.
Yeah, I think so.
Bards have.
Survive is 22.
Okay, that is enough. Yes, of course. Well, that's a bit of our technology from the. Yes, it is very similar in design, isn't it?
Yeah.
She picks up her pace awkwardly. Like
Oh,
Did she just say similar technology?
she said, "Oh, that is a bit of our technology from."
Okay.
All
So I'll
right.
just kind of like, wait, if the dome there is theirs, I need to see this dome.
All right. You continue along. And this is so exciting. All right, so you arrive at the quartermaster's building, which again is it doesn't seem like a smithy. Doesn't seem like it's tough because everything has a lot of function here and a lot function plus form. Even the weaponry and armor and other bits of things you see here, there are a lot of magical items here, like a lot. And I'm going to say, as you arrive, she introduces you to... where are you? Do. Come on, notes. Leha, the quartermaster. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you all. She kind of looks quizzically for a minute, but pauses, catching herself, the quartermaster. She kind of looks at Nita. Oh, yes, they're here at the King and Queen's behest. We're looking to supply them with something, for a journey they seek, a dangerous journey. She kind of leans in and whispers to Leha's ear. Leha. Oh. Very well. Well, I can supply you with some healing potions. And I'm just going to effectively double down on some healing potions that I gave out. Or that were given out to you. I thought you had a... Oh, here it is, right? It's the one that's not... Ooh, you don't know what that one is yet, Aaron. That's exciting.
Wait, what?
Or maybe you do. Maybe I just didn't... Yeah, you do. I just didn't undo the ID. That's why. Okay, there we go. All right.
What is happening?
Okay, so I will go over that after. But the more healing potions. And I would like... oh, gosh. If you have percentile dice, and then if you'd roll those... yeah, I think... Let me know if anyone doesn't have those.
Never get to roll these.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh, what you got?
I got a 100.
Wow.
Nice.
Double nickels.
You know what? Let me put this down so I don't lose track. All right, that's amazing. All right, and you got 100. That's beautiful. Mort.
I can't drive. 55.
Nice. Kaylin.
You're muted.
remind me again how we do the percentile.
Oh, sorry. So you roll them both, and the first one is the tens place. The second one is the ones place.
Okay.
0 is
Well, that's a 14.
okay. 14. Let's see. M.
Yeah, I don't have any of those.
Oh, okay. If you're in Fantasy Grounds, you can do /die space 1d100, and that'll roll a d100 for you.
Say that again?
/die die space 1d100 altogether. That part's all together.
Capital D or lowercase?
Lowercase. 74.
Good roll.
Excellent. All right, Aaron.
8.
Wow.
Fun.
I don't know if we wanted high or low, so
Nice. I guess I will roll here for Blueberry and Emil. That's exciting for me. I'll use the orange one. I don't get to use that one as often as I'd like. Okay. So Blueberry gets a 61. I'm just going to write BP. I. What is this? 61. And Emil. 75 for Emil. Excuse me. Okay. So, the quartermaster, she heads out behind the countertop where she is. There's a bunch of, you're in this open face shop. It's almost like walking in off the city street, but it's this deep, deep shop. Some 100 feet in, 45 feet wide. And it's gorgeous in here. A lot of window space along one side of the exterior wall. And a bunch of armor stands with armor on display. Very intricate, finely crafted. Anyone attuned to or proficient with Arcana can feel magic coming from quite a few of these items. There are display. Everything's out. Nothing's like locked like you're used to behind things, closed doors and such. Daggers and swords and this and that, and everything has a nice plaque. Of course, you can't read it. But there's writing on the plaques.
what language is it?
You have never seen it before. But if you have means to check, you're welcome to.
Is it related to Draconic or Celestial?
You see hints of Celestial.
Okay. So it's like knowing Spanish and trying to read something Italian.
Yeah.
Maybe?
Nice. Quartermaster Leha returns. Well, there's only so much that that I have. Oh no, right, she's a little. Well, there's only so much that I have here that seemed fitting, and that I have the dispensation to give. But here are the goods, and she puts the wheels a crate out, and the top isn't even nailed on. She just loaded it up and pops the top off, and you all look in at all the glistening magical goodies in here, and that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Of course. Dan has to create a list of magical goodies.
Yep. Next Friday is Christmas.
Yeah. Nice. You came to the right place. We'll get you properly leveled up here to, what are y'all, 12?
Are we all 13 yet?
Probably after the crossover, almost definitely.
Nice.
Yeah, yep, and your rolls impacted the gear, so.
Oh no!
Is Erwin and Caleb gonna be like, and I got a rock?
No,
it's
like,
a lucky rock.
It's a potion or
Luckstone.
something.
Nice. One for you and one for you, and well, here you
It's
go.
a snow globe.
Yeah.
All I got was this stupid snow globe.
It's a T-shirt. Yeah. I went to Iverness.
I went to the quartermaster to get this cool stuff, and all I got was this little
All I
T-shirt.
got was a T-shirt that has like a -1 in something.
Charisma?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, that's gonna be bad then. I already have a -1 in charisma.
Awesome. So, fun. We have one more session for each campaign next week before the crossover. So, Kier's Lament is going to be set and ready to go.
Are we though?
Yeah. I don't think you're going to have the tour of the city, but I think you're going to get set up over there at Riverlost.
I mean, someone could get sucked into a book again. Who knows?
Yeah, they're getting left behind. So someone can bring the book with them. And of course, we'll have next week to manage through the city, get a little more with the Tyldari, get to know Nide a little more, perhaps, and just sort of experience what there is to experience here.
Another freaking rude
in
child.
Iverness.
Wow.
Yeah. Plus, you got to see. So, your experience with the people so far has been that they're pretty, their culture's different, and so they just sort of ignore things. Everyone else has been really like kind, and it's just a really peaceful place. You don't hear people shouting at one another in the streets. Again, you don't see anyone needy or like way above their class and with wealth, while others suffer. The only one that had that adverse reaction at first was the king, and it seems to be that he had some experience beforehand with other people that soured him. So he sort of he came in heavy, and I was like, no, I need to. They're sort of an evolved race, so he's like, no, those are poor choices. These people aren't those
This
people.
close.
Yeah. So it should be fun. So not tomorrow, but the following Saturday. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah, that's
Night.
it.
Yep,
Yep,
okay.
the night.
That's it.
It's
You're
the
right.
9th. It is our crossover. It's a Saturday. We're going to be expect at least at noon. I'm still waiting to hear from 2 people that had yes, thank you, noon Eastern. Wait, when does the time change? That's not till
That's
Tonight.
tonight.
That's tomorrow night.
tomorrow
Is it
night.
tomorrow?
Okay,
Yeah,
so
tomorrow
be
night.
aware
So
of
it's
that.
tonight?
Yep.
I think it's
Following
Saturday
back.
into Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's tomorrow.
Overnight tomorrow. Okay.
Your
Yeah.
phone knows what to do.
nice. Yeah, watch your phones. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited. We're gonna get everyone in there and make some magic happen, I hope. So don't miss it. I'll start posting everywhere as soon as I hear back, because it might be 11:30 instead of noon, but at the very latest noon. Should be around 3-hour session. And yeah. Exciting.
And we're gonna have giveaways.
Yes. Aaron win.
I have a set.
Sam has.
I have this. Yeah. I have a set of dice that I need to find because I think my children got hold of them. But I have a very nice set of dice from Gatekeeper Games. How's these dice? They're very pretty.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
They're somewhere.
Awesome. Sam's been great to donate that, and Frank is donating this. And what's inside, Frank? Coffee. Perfect. Yeah. Yes, Dreadstar on the 9th. It'll be noon Eastern time, but maybe 11:30. I might be here early regardless, just so if anyone shows up at 11:30, I'll be online and chatting. If we're not starting at 11:30, but noon at the latest. And of course, we'll have it on the VODs here. We'll have it up on YouTube after in its own section, its own playlist. I'll probably put it in Kier's Lament and Stormfall's playlist as well. But I'm so looking forward to it. It's here. It's almost here.
So nervous.
Awesome.
So nervous.
You guys are gonna kill me.
I can't. I'm so nervous.
Nice. Should be juicy. Lots of stuff. Yeah, sorry, Half Donut. That's out of the whole month of November, except for the nights where we do our other actually I put the nights where we do our other campaign on there too. It's a lot of people, and that was the only day, the only time frame where more than like 3 or 4 people could do it. It was everyone except Victoria. However, she might be able to do it. It depends on something that's up in the air every Saturday. So she'll let me know in the next, before Saturday comes out. Otherwise, it should be everyone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Stop it, Sam. Just stop.
I'm
Nice.
just smiling over
Sure.
here.
Yep.
Yeah, Sam gets to play both. I think she said she was going to have her hood, so she could be like, I'm Erwin. Boom, I'm
Novella.
I'm Novella. Yep.
That's part of the reason why I gave Novella such a different dialect than Erwin.
Nice.
So it's obvious who is speaking.
I can't wait. Oh. Well, thank you, players, as always, for taking this journey with me. You're all so fantastic. I'm so glad you're invested and still here and putting up with, the stuff I put out.
How can we not be invested now, Dan?
Nice. Galathor or Ed, I'm going to message you too because I have something that I want to give a little background on, maybe just for Galathor, just in case he's interested.
Sure.
Yeah, so anyway, one more episode each campaign, hooray! So catch us here for Stormfall, where we have all the theater and drama and ups and downs, highs and lows, every Friday night, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern.
Or the soap opera.
Yes, it's amazing. We have our All Evil campaign, Kierselman, every Tuesday night, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern. And we now have a Sunday night campaign, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern. Sunday nights run by Victoria, the Obsidian Scar, and that's sort of an exploration kind of thing. It gets really silly because Steph and I playing it, so and I'm blaming Steph for being silly. No, just kidding. Her character grounds us all.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Mama Bear carries over.
For real. And viewers, thank you all so much. You make this so much fun. I love sharing, and I think I can speak for all of us. We love sharing our game with you. And having all the feedback and chat and everything makes it all the better. Okay. All right, everybody. Happy belated Halloween. Anyone that I missed? All right. I should probably put this back on. Hey, happy Halloween, everybody. Have a wonderful night. We'll catch you all soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.